Hey guys, I'm Jason Balin, and sitting next to me is Tony Karlicek. I'm the co-founder of hardmoneybankers.com and REI360.net. I have a very special show in play for you today. Like I said, Tony Karlicek's in the house making his debut. He's sitting right next to me. He's our director of lending of Hard Money Bankers, and today we are going to talk about what a great real estate market we're in right now, and some of the things that we see from obviously being one of the biggest lenders, especially in our marketplace, what we see on the front lines of the real estate market. Some great stuff ahead. Check it out right now. Okay, great. So Tony, obviously, even though I see you every day, thank you for being here.
For sure.
thank you for being on the show. I mean, you're a great person to talk to because the two of us probably interact more with all of our borrowers, and we have a really good grasp of what we see every day. I mean, at Hard Money Bankers, just so everybody knows, we get about 1,000 inquiries every month for new deals, and we lend about 20 properties, lend on about 20 projects per month based off of those thousands. So obviously, there's a lot of deals that we look at that just don't end up being deals for one reason or the other, because every good deal we do, right? Correct. So what types of deals do you see kind of on the front lines when you're answering the phones, checking emails, walk-ins, things like that? What types of deals do you notice that are the better deals compared to the worst deals when talking to borrowers?
Sure. Most of the better deals are off-market deals. Most of what I see on a daily basis that doesn't end up getting funded would be either an MLS deal or maybe an overpriced deal from maybe an inexperienced wholesaler, something like that. Most of the applications that come in are fairly incomplete, so I tend to be on the phone a lot, straight away with the borrower to figure out what the transaction's about, how they thought about structuring it, get an idea of their experience level, and just look at what they're trying to accomplish, and then really try to align the way that we look at the deal with what they're trying to accomplish and bring it across the table and make sure everybody makes money.
Sure, and I think that's a good thing you just added related to the structuring of deal, because a lot of investors don't even really know how to structure a deal. Sometimes they have an absolute home run and don't even know it, and sometimes on the other end, they have a crappy deal and think it's an absolute home run, and there's a lot of moving pieces related to a real estate investment transaction. And like you said, related to some of the deals that don't work or they need too much money is because it's just kind of a crappy deal. And we all know that there's deals, and we've done loans on any kinds of things, from MLS deals, auction deals, direct to the seller deals, wholesalers. There's so many types of ones out there. But that being said, I would guess, and you probably agree with this, that the majority of the deals we look at, probably over 50% are just on MLS sitting there, and sometimes even on the market for a long time, and borrowers are saying, hey, I got a great deal. Why can't you see this? Sure,
then they do, and there are good deals that can be had on MLS, but a lot of them aren't. But not when you pay list price. And it amazes me how often when I say that, use the word list or retail, an inexperienced investor might not really know what that means. And really at the end of the day, it's making sure that you make your money day one when you buy. And
right.
and as far as structuring the deal, another challenge that I come across often is borrowers don't want to have that construction escrow because they think that they're going to get micromanaged in their construction, or that the money's not in their accounts, but they're not realizing that if you do a 65% ARV loan, from a net cash flow scenario, by the time you go list the house, you're going to be less out of pocket than if you did the entire rehab yourself. And that gives you more in the bank to do more deals.
Yeah, that's a good point. And it's one of those things that let us structure these deals with you. Our goal is obviously for you to bring the least amount of cash to the table
Correct.
as possible. Make sure you have enough cash to keep these projects moving forward, because we're all teammates on this, right? If you fail, we fail, and we don't get our money back on these deals. So we've been doing a lot of these deals. We've done over 1,000 deals since 2007, and we're experts in this space. And use us as a teammate. So that's the way that I want to. That kind of sums up our first point. Along with, there's a lot of different ways to get deals. Just make sure you're kind of doing everything and put a very heavy focus on marketing. So a lot of the borrowers that come to us, and a lot of the real estate investors, if they're hobbyists or actually doing a lot of deals on a regular basis, who do you get the majority of these inquiries from? Are they from somebody who's like, hey, I heard you guys can give me money, or I don't know much about this, I want to learn more? Or are they more from investors that are investors but just don't have a deal? Or are they from investors that are ready to pull the trigger that have a deal in play?
Sure.
Or is it a combination of everything?
It's a combination of everything. I would say the lion's share of the leads that come in are inexperienced investors. Maybe they have a good cash position, but not a good deal. Maybe they've been given bad information. Maybe their agent's not quote unquote comping correctly, because comps aren't really ARVs. And 30% of them are full-time investors, a little bit short on cash. Maybe they just won a contract or got a short sale approved and they're in between deals, and they're just trying to move forward and lever up. And that's really kind of the idea behind it. And I try to get all the leads to realize your cash to close doesn't cost you that dollar amount. What you're actually doing is leveraging your cash position. So in the same quarterly period, instead of you using 100 grand in one deal to make 20 grand, you can use that 100 grand in 5 deals to make 15 grand each. And you've multiplied on orders of magnitude your profitability. And a lot of it is explaining to investors who are cash heavy that using hard money is actually a profit driver when it comes to your bottom line, and to try and get them away from focusing on cost.
Yeah, no, really, really good points. Okay, so another thing that we are always talking about is we do all these videos, we have meetup groups. Mm-hmm. Our whole business model is to do good deals for the same good borrowers and over and help them grow. Because if we can take a borrower has done one deal and we can get them to do 5 deals this year, obviously they're doing 5 deals and we're doing 5 loans for them.
Absolutely.
So we put a lot of money, a lot of resources, and a lot of time. And sometimes, over 50% of our resources and time and money locally, our marketing budgets are towards that to help real estate investors grow. So we always are talking about, different meetup topics or different content pieces or educational seminars in our office. What would you say are the 3 kind of leading, pieces that a lot of these investors are misled on, or things that they need help on related to helping them grow as real estate investors, that there's just not that great content out there, and especially not that great content for free. And as we grow, we're trying to put together these content pieces for them. Like, what do you think some of the key educational components would be to help them grow?
Sure.
Or what they need and they don't know they need?
I would say one is comping, knowing the market, knowing the game, and realizing that just because your agent tells you it's a great deal, due diligence goes far beyond that. The ability to remove emotion from it and look at it as each deal as a standalone business plan and transaction, instead of, oh, this house is beautiful or this is that. It should be, how profitable is this deal going to be? The second is how to get off-market deals, how to negotiate with homeowners in a way that you can structure your offer to where it's not an insult, but it's an educated investor buy, and they feel confident that your value that you're bringing to them is the ability to close quickly.
Yep, agreed. And then probably something related to a little bit of construction as well, because we know that construction typically makes or breaks a deal, and every single person that comes through our door, I mean, it's like, yeah, I think that's a little bit underfunded, and they're like, no, I got a good contractor, or I can do this, or I can do that, and you may, but I mean, there's not very many scope of works that we see that have a contingency plan in there of 10% or whatever the case is. And
sure, and it's really important too to not only just know your numbers so you pull off a great product, but also a product that moves quick, because every month that it's sitting on the market, it's costing interest payments. Yeah. And we want you redeploying that capital. We want you in and out of these loans as quick as possible.
Yeah, and you do too.
Correct.
Yeah.
And one minor mishap with construction can make or break your entire profit. And you can be, especially for newbie investors, if you're in and out in your first deal and you're out of the game, that's not good for anybody.
Yeah, exactly. That's the last year. If you lose money on your first deal, it's probably the last deal that you're ever going to do. Okay, cool. So to follow up on a few brief things that we talked about today, reach out to us as your hard money lender, as an expert. Free advice for whatever you need. Anything if related to marketing, construction, finding deals. Don't be scared to pick up the phone and kind of figure out how you want to get one of these deals structured, because real estate's complicated. We take it for granted because we've been in the business a long time and we've seen so many situations, but a lot of real estate investors have not. They haven't been through the transactions that we have. So reach out to a lender as
just a classic example is using cross collateral. There's 2 deals this week that were saved where the borrower had no idea that they could even tie another property up to lessen the cash to close to make it work.
Yeah, because they didn't have the money they needed for closing. They couldn't come to the table with closing costs, but they happened to have a few free and clear properties that they bought, and we were able to get creative to structure it.
And at the end of the day, it all boils down to, instead of trying to learn and be an expert on what we do as far as the lending side, lean on us, have trust that what do you need to accomplish and what are you working with? And where we earn our keep is figuring out how to get that across the finish line.
Exactly. Cool. Hope you enjoyed the show today, guys. Again, Jason, Tony, hardmoneybankers.com. We also have the leading software for real estate investors called REI360.net. The focus on that is if you are an experienced real estate investor, you need help with marketing and managing your deals, you can obviously take a look at that program as well. It'll help you. And we're here to help. That's what we do. And to your real estate investing success. Until next time, see you guys.